Hello and welcome to Wetin Naw, an Engage Salone podcast that focuses on amplifying the voices of young people in Sierra Leone. I am your presenter, Adama Morgan. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe and pass the word around. Wetin Naw, wetin dey happen? In our last episode, we looked into gender-based violence, its legal framework, and support services for survivors and victims in Sierra Leone. In today's episode, we will be discussing youth participation in Sierra Leone's political and national development. We will uncover how the youth in Sierra Leone are shaping their future, advocating for their rights, and engaging in civic life. This exploration will focus on insights from young members of parliament, as well as perspectives from young regular individuals regarding youth participation in general. Stay tuned as we amplify their voices and explore the transformative power of youth participation. Sierra Leone, located on the west coast of Africa, has a complex political history characterized by colonialism, civil war, and challenges in governance. Sierra Leone's political background is a testament to its resilience in the face of adversity. In a country rich in culture and resilience, the youth represent a powerful force for change and innovation. With over 60% of the population under the age of 25, young people in Sierra Leone are not just the leaders of tomorrow, they are the change makers of today. I'm in Unimac to meet with Mr. Mohamed Papa Bangura, a honorable member of parliament for the All People's Congress Party. Welcome to Wetin Naw.
Thank you very much, madam.
Mr. Mohamed Papa Bangura, the issue of youth participation in governance and decision-making has a strong resonance, particularly in Sierra Leone. Do you believe that young people should be included in national decision-making processes?
It's 100% yes, because we form the greater majority in the country. So if you are making a decision for a nation, the greater majority must be part of that decision-making. You cannot make that decision on their behalf in their absence. So it's a big yes to it.
But is that the case in Sierra Leone?
It's becoming the case. Now I'm seeing the hurricane of young people in politics is actually hitting hard, because before now you cannot find a young person like me in governance, but today we are part of it, and I'm not just alone in it. Here in Bombali, I have my colleague as well, the Honorable Ibrahim Bari, and then you go to Kenima, we have another young lady there who is an honorable member. This is for the case of parliament. You go to Kono, you go to other places across the country. We have young people now in decision making, and parliament being one of the organ of government, and it's a key one, making laws for the country. I think it's becoming part of our country in governance.
You said it's becoming the case.
Yeah.
What do you think can be done to increase access to decision making and a shift in the perception of youth capabilities?
I think we need to take the forefront as young people. Gone are those days when they say the young people are champion of violence or whatever, because I also believe violence is the weapon for the weak. When we as young people, we capacitate ourselves, we prepare ourselves to take this responsibility, definitely we'll get there. Because like I said earlier on, we're in the greater majority with pressure in a very peaceful way, definitely we'll be included there. And then when we ask for it, they will give it to us peacefully in the right way. And then, I think that's what we young people we need to do, because it's our responsibility as well. When you're prepared for a position, when you're ready to take the forefront, when you're ready to lead, definitely that platform will be given to you. Let the aged, let the people who are in higher positions see it that we are ready to take this responsible position. Definitely they will give it to us. They don't have an option, and this is why today some of us are here.
Yeah, that's on point, sir. Can you share with us your experience of navigating party politics and governance structures as a young member of parliament?
It will interest you to know that I've been a journalist for a very long time, and I used to hold people with feet on fire, and I used to bring stories that has to do with human interest, but I was major in sports because I'm a football commentator.
So do you play football?
I play it for fun, but I'm a football commentator, a national football commentator, or sports generally, because I also commentate volleyball and basket and athletics as well. And then then I've been a journalist actually reaching out to people. But then I didn't limit myself to just bringing the news. I also engage myself in solving community problems because I came from a very, very, vulnerable communities. Where my dad came from and where my mom came from. But I always have the passion to help the poorest of the poor because I have a similar story to that, And I do intervene in several community developments. And fast forward, I also established an organization called Access to Education, an organization that cares for the poorest of the poor. And this idea was born during the Ebola to help the Ebola victim, Ebola orphans. And I've constructed several schools in my districts, at Basha community. I met there lots of young people who want to go to school, but they don't have a structure. So I constructed 6 classrooms with the help of other organizations like World Hope. So with my involvement into community development and all this trigger, the people that this time around, we need a young person who can represent us. It was difficult decision for me to make because I am a man who doesn't care your color, your tribe, your region. I just believe in national unionism. I have friends in Bo, I have friends in Kenim, I have friends across the country. So I don't know what is party politics, what is party color and all. But when the call came that I have to belong to a political party, and the APC, All People's Congress, is the best choice for me, and I joined the APC. Today, I am an honorable member of parliament. But despite me being part of the All People's Congress now, I am representing the people of Sierra Leone, and Bombale is where I came from. But my role now is not party politicking. It is about how I lend my voice to national development. So in an environment like this, people will tend to define you based on where you're coming from or based on the political party you belong to. But then it's our responsibility to, make that clear to everyone that we have a moral responsibility to this country.
That's amazing, Mr. Mohammed. Your story shows that young people have the capabilities to do several things for their communities when they are allowed to do it. Mr. Mohammed, can young people strengthen the overall democratic fabric of society?
It's a yes.
How do you think they can?
The reason why I said it's a yes, and I think like what I've done, in my quiet moments, in my work in community, and I came and I aspire democratically. I was elected as an MP, and I think that is what we need as young people to come out, and champion the cause. And then we hold certain institutions to responsibility because our democracy is being questioned severally, but then it's not done by young people. It's people who at their institution also have a role to play. Our judiciary has a role to play. Our electoral bodies have a role to play. Let the people believe in this democracy that we're all practicing. But I tell you, there is absolutely nothing that has to do with national development when you cannot talk about young people's involvement. If we're involved in it, definitely we'll get to the required results. It's a tough thing. It's tough. People want to influence it the way that can switch their comfort, the way that can admit to what they want. But from the national point of view, young people, we have a role to play.
It's amazing and on point, sir. What specific initiatives can be implemented to enhance youth participation in Sierra Leone's governance?
Let everybody believe that you cannot make any decision without young people. But I will repeat this again. We also have a role to play. First, you have to capacitate yourself. When we have the capacity, and let also be specific laws or policies that provide the space for young people. If, for instance, like the women, what they're asking for now, they're asking for at least 30%. If we also have a clear policy that speak to a certain percentage to young people, if you say, for example, each district, we need at least 30%, as the case may be, of young people within the age 30 and below to go to parliament, to be in cabinets, to head parastatals, definitely I think this is the way out, because let there be a clear line of communication as to how young people will come to governance. I tell you, we have responsible young people across the country now. You go to the university, you see young people. When somebody contacted me that somebody is coming to interview, I was thinking somebody, I
get that. When you saw me, you were like,
I saw you, I was like, yeah. But for me, I'm always optimistic about young people progress. So I believe we can do it. I believe we have the responsibility to do so. And the platform should be there for us. When the platform is there for us, definitely we'll come out and grab it.
What message would you like to convey to young people in Sierra Leone about their role in politics and national development?
When the right thinking people shy away from politics, issues of unemployment, and then health conditions, and then corruption, and everything will be the order of the day. So if you are a right-thinking Sierra Leonean, you have to come to politics. So people will demonize politics. People will tell you politics is a bad game. Somebody will use every way of vinifying it and making it bad. But if we leave it in the hands of the bad people, definitely corruption will be the order of the day. And you and I will wake up in the morning, no electricity. You want to go to school, you cannot afford, to have electricity to iron your cloth or your uniform or whatever. So all of these things, this is why we need to come out. We need to be in the forefront to take a lead role in governance. Young people, today, I know it's tough. That is the reality on the ground. It's really, really tough. But the option is not for us to abuse or take abusive substance, especially when you talk about the kush today. Today, the kush is the order of the day. And people are bringing it in this country thinking that it's the best way for them to make money, forgetting that they are damaging our youth population. And it's because there are limited jobs in the country, because of this distress, this frustration by young people, something to take the kush or other hard substance, which is not good for them at all, which is damaging the workforce of our country. I want to call on them that you not wake up one morning, you become an MP. If I tell you my story where I came from, I sat to my worst. I had to wait for 8 years before going to university, but I utilized it well. It was a very good wait for me, no regrets. Because I utilize it well, today I've completed my first degree, I've completed my master's. I'm also trying to complete the third degree. So when the opportunity comes, grab it and make good use of it. Kush is not the answer. Alcohol is not the answer. Let us buck up. Let us come out and be in the forefront. And I also want to end on this note that violence is not the answer. Violence is the weapon for the weak. If you are strong, use your mental strength. Use your pen to challenge people, comfort them the right way, and do it within the framework of the law. Definitely, you'll get to the better position you want.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mohammed. The takeaways are violence is not the answer, and violence is the weapon for the weak. Mr. Mohammed's story shows that young people have the capabilities to engage in politics, and they should take up the mantle because they are the future leaders of tomorrow and also the change makers of today. Thank you very much, Mr. Mohammed, for having you on Wetin Naw.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
The consideration of youth voices in political processes and manifesto development in Sierra Leone is a crucial issue. Given that a significant portion of the population is under the age of 35, I'm in Freetown to meet with Umar Amir Abdul Karim Junisa, or as he may like to be called, Political Mufti. Umar is a writer, a political and social influencer. He is passionate about national development. Hello and welcome to Wetin Naw, Umar.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you too. Umar, how much are young people involved in political processes and manifesto developments?
Well, thank you so much. And I can tell you this, that His Excellency the President, retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio, has really tried to involve young people when it comes to political and manifesto development. As you can see, the Chief Minister is a very young person. The Minister of Communication is another young person. We have the Deputy Minister of Youth Affairs, who is again another young person. We have the Deputy Ambassador to Liberia, who is again another young person. That just tells you that young people are really been participating now when it comes to political alignment in Sierra Leone. As well, you can see the leader of opposition in parliament, Honorable Abdul Kabo, is another young person. That tells you that this particular involvement is not only on the leading government side, but it's also on the opposition side as well.
That's wonderful. So, Omar, what strategies do you think can foster youth inclusivity in Sierra Leone's politics?
One of the strategies, as His Excellency the President, retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio, has given 13% to women. He has made it compulsory that every sector must incorporate 30% of women in their offices. So, if we have a policy like that again for young people, we seek for like 50%. It must be like compulsory. I think that would be a nice one.
What can be done to increase access to decision making and a shift in the perception of youth capabilities?
It's for us to be having frequent engagement of young people, engaging young people in different aspects, bringing them to the table. Because there is a saying which says that anything for the youth without the youth is not for the youth.
Like nothing for me without me.
Fine, thank you. So if we have young people incorporated in their own activities, I think it will be a bingo.
Exactly. So, Omar, so what role do you think social media and traditional media can play in shaping youth's perception of political participation? Because I can see you're a very big social influencer. I followed you on Facebook.
24/7 I'm on Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, Instagram to see what's happening. So it really impacts positively, but we have some negative people again using this particular platform to dent individuals as well. But as young people, I think we need to thrive positively and make use of the social media, because I always do say social media can make or break you. We need to use it in a positive way so that at least we'll go far with it.
Omar, how can political parties and governments better engage with young people to address their concerns effectively?
As I told you earlier, it's frequent engagement. If we see the two major political parties, I mean APC and the SLPP, coming together, engaging young people simultaneously, systematically, we'll have a very good path to tread on.
Omar, how can young people be empowered to take on leadership roles within their communities?
We can do that through skills. We can do that through formal employment. We can do that through frequent engagement as well.
The major take home for Omar was that effective engagement with young people can foster youth inclusivity in Sierra Leone's politics. Thank you very much, Political Mufti, for meeting with us. We're thrilled to have you on Wetin Naw. I'm at the British High Commission of Freetown to meet with Sam Esther Hanakagbo, who works with Girls Advocacy Network Sierra Leone, also known as GADNET. Girls Advocacy Network advocates for young women and girls' voices to be heard in terms of decision-making processes. Hello, Sam Esther, and welcome to Wetin Naw.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. Esther, how do you define youth empowerment?
Youth empowerment for me means youth having the power, resources, and the resilience to do action in their different areas of focus.
What challenges do you face in advocating for youth inclusion?
One, I would say in terms of the cultural and traditional landscape, because there are some things that society does not expect you to speak about. And basically that serves as a barrier to whatever advocacy that you want to do. And also in terms of the resources doesn't only dive down to financial aspect, but also like the tools that you need, like the mobility that you need to help to, aid the particular thing that you are advocating on. But I would say so far so good. There is also a landscape of embracement of youth advocacy, because now the platform is basically be given to young people to utilize it.
That's wonderful. So speaking of barriers, what are the barriers to youth participation in politics and civic leadership roles?
For me, I think young people are not at the center of decision making. There are most times laws, policies, programs are basically designed for young people, but young people are not there to basically lead this initiative or bring out this initiative. So that's why most of the time it is missing, because you cannot do something for us without us being at the table. So most of the time they are not at the decision table. They are not being consulted. They are most time being brought upon on the last stage, and those that you're working for, if they are not there, then basically there will become an imbalance. And even young people themselves, right, it's not only about the structure being there. Even young people are not willing to step out of their comfort zone to do action. They are most times focusing on misuse of social media, substance abuse, and different things that basically distract them. And even if the opportunities are there, if young people are not willing to take up on these opportunities when it comes to decision making, then it's going to be a waste.
Okay, that's wonderful, Esther. Esther, what do you think we can do to combat the stereotypes about young people in decision-making processes? How do we do it?
It's two things here. It has to be about continual advocacy. Advocacy is a drive, to basically put change. You have to change people's mindset towards these things. It's continual talking. And then evidence. They also have to see evidence, right? And basically, people who have actually stepped out, people who are actually doing well, like myself, right? People can be able to learn from it. So they also have to see the evidence, why also the advocacy is going towards the action.
Exactly. So why do you believe youth should be included in decision-making processes?
We are now, we are tomorrow, and we are the future. And when you look at my country, Sierra Leone, it is basically made up of youth population. So definitely, it's just paramount that anything, any decision, any stage, whatever it is, young people must be involved, because our population is youthful and we are the future.
That's amazing. I love that. I really love that. So Esther, how can young people make their voices heard in communities?
You don't need too much basically to do, right? You can start from your home to start making the voice. You can start from your school, your university. As I mentioned, you just need to leave your comfort zone, know what you want to address, and then you go for it.
That's wonderful. So what specific youth organizations are making impacts in Sierra Leone's political landscape in terms of support and decision-making processes for young people?
So I would say GuardNet is one, which I find myself.
Of course.
In. Of course, my organization. You have so many, the Petority. You have so many that are creating the platform for you to basically have this capacity and for them to speak up and take up on opportunities. But for now, I'll say GuardNet.
GuardNet, of course. Yeah. So we are at British High Commission. Can you elaborate why we're here?
We're here because this is one of our donors who supported our past activity, which is the National Girls Summit that brought together over 700 young people from different parts of the country to get inspired, motivated, and then start taking action. So we're here today to give feedback, be able to reflect, and also to say thank you for them coming on board to support the Girls Summit.
Oh, I heard of that Girls Summit. It was amazing. I just wish I would be a part of it the next one. Okay. So what advice would you give to other young people wanting to get involved in advocacy?
Get involved means you have to leave your comfort zone. If you want to see change, you have to start now. I don't know what you're going to do because every young person have their own innovative idea. All I can say is just have the spirit, just have the power to start. You're going to have the challenges. Before starting now, I had numerous challenges, but I believe in the future. I believe that there's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. So just start, get ready for what society is going to bring at you, and just keep your head up high.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Esther. So the key take home from Esther were nothing for us without us. And she also said that young people should step out of their comfort zone and take up leadership roles. Esther likely said that we are now, we are tomorrow, and we are the future. So young people should really step out of their comfort zone and take up leadership roles. This shows that continuous advocacy and the establishment of formal channels for youth inputs are crucial for fostering a political landscape that reflects the aspirations of the younger generation. Thank you so much, Esther, for being with us on Wetin Naw.
Thank you for having me.
I'm here with Abubakar Benson. He's the Executive Director of Center for Youth Participation in Democracy. He's also a civil rights activist and a campaigner for good governance. Hello, Abubakar, and welcome to Wetin Naw.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you too, Abubakar. The exclusion of non-partisan youth voices in Sierra Leone's political processes presents significant challenges to democratic governance and societal progress. Abubakar, what are some of the challenges do non-partisan youth face in Sierra Leone?
To start with, in a nation where you have young people make up of half of the country population, one might expect that their voices to resonate loudly in the corridors of power. But that is not the case in Sierra Leone. Young people find themselves on the outskirts of political engagement. They often feel invisible in a system that clearly overlooks their potential. So their dreams for a brighter future are stifled by barriers woven into the fabric of society. And this keeps them from actively participating in shaping their destiny. The barriers that non-partisan young people face in this country, we can start with what you rightly mentioned, the issue of exclusion. Understand? Even though there are other barriers like unemployment, corruption, and lack of opportunities, engagement opportunities for them. So their barriers are systematic from one point to another, and it keeps increasing year go, year come. So the barriers are many, but exclusion, I think, is the
paramount one. That's right. Exclusion is really a paramount barrier. Do you believe that non-partisans should be included in decision-making processes?
Yes, of course, because they are part of the youth demographic, and you cannot take that category out of the political discourse because they make up of the youth population. So I believe they are part of the system, and they also should be heard and they should be listened to.
Exactly so. How can international organizations support non-partisan youth engagement in Sierra Leone?
Well, I believe international organizations, most of them, they often support most of this process when it comes to inclusions. But I believe there are more works to be done, especially in the area of civic education and empowerment of young people. I believe if young people are educated, they understand some of these civic responsibilities and right, how to engage their political leaders in matters of accountability, matters of social justice. I believe they will be in a better position to engage in the political discourse of the country.
What role do social media platforms play in amplifying non-partisan voices?
Social media in this day of young people, we know the significant role that it plays when it comes to political information. Before we have this traditional communication and information system, understand, through the radio, television, and the likes. But now we have social media platforms like WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, and these are important forums that young people use to disseminate information, especially when it comes to mobilizing themselves to steer issues or causes that are pertinent to their development and aspirations. So I believe social media plays a crucial role in terms of young people participation in democracy and politics.
Thank you for that, Abubakar. What message would you like to convey to young people in Sierra Leone about their role in politics?
I think this is the big catch, you understand? Young people of Sierra Leone, we made up of almost 60 to 70% of the country population, you understand? And this is a huge demographic number. You cannot take them out of the discussion as far as politics and democracy is concerned, you understand? So my message to young people of Sierra Leone is that they should never be shy away from causes that scared them. They should be in the center of politics, and they should also be in center of causes that actually promotes their aspirations, and they should be in politics. They should not shy away from it. They should be involved wholeheartedly and see how best they can participate into causes that actually push their development and aspirations. If we decide not to discuss issues that affect young people in this country, if we decide not to participate in politics, if we decide to allow the old folks to do what they feel like doing, and then we'll be lost in terms of decision making, we'll be lost in terms of our development, and we'll be lost in terms of pushing the country forward. We have a huge number that we can leverage to make our voices heard, to make those that are at the helm of governance to listen to us, and also to take our causes very seriously. So we should never shy. Whether you have your platforms, you have your civil society organizations, whatever platforms that you have, make sure you promote the causes of young people and let your voice be heard. That is the only way they can take us seriously.
Thank you so much for that, Abubakar. So the key take home from Abubakar are young people should be included in civil engagement, and whether they are partisan or not. And he also said that social media plays an important role in ensuring that young people get involved in politics and democracy. And what I loved the most was when he said that young people shouldn't be shy from political processes. They should get involved, because if we decide not to participate in politics, we will be lost in terms of decision making and development. Enhancing youth participation requires creating more inclusive political environments, addressing socio-economic barriers, and ensuring that political parties genuinely engage with the concerns of young people. To realize the full potential of Sierra Leone, it is essential to prioritize meaningful youth participation. This not only enhances democracy and governance, but also ensures a more inclusive and prosperous future for all citizens. Our next episode promises to be just as engaging. We'll continue to probe issues that affect the lives of young people. Stay tuned for more informative stories and discussions. Remember, it's all about asking, Wetin Naw? What's happening in the lives of young people? Until next time, keep amplifying those voices and driving positive change. This is an Engage Salone podcast funded by the Fund for Global Human Rights. Don't forget to follow us, like, and share the podcast. We rely on you to pass the word out there. I am Adama Morgan.